Okay, it's Nick Dutch here again. Hi there, how the heck's it going? Just been watching a really cool video called Why Does My Magic Not Work? By a channel called The Emanation Video, with the word emanation in capital letters. There's a capital T for the word the, and it's all one word, The Emanation Video. This one is a lot, it's a real old one, goes back to 2009, July 2009. But it's quite interesting because he's trying to suggest that it's not symbolism, it's not ritual, it's not that kind of stuff which actually makes a particular result occur. His intent is to explain that concentration and visualization are the two main skills you need to really develop and work at. He doesn't really go into too much as to how that should happen, and I don't feel he quite answers the key question, as in what do you mean by magic working? Okay, I'm in strong agreement with him that the symbolic aspect, the religious aspects of all forms of magical working is in fact not necessarily the most important thing. In my experience, when you are doing things in a more ritualistic manner, it's all that, hocus pocus, candles, incense, mantras, invocation of weird things, that hold you there. It's the suspension of disbelief, the auto hypnosis, that kind of, it makes life a lot easier. But because the auto suggestion from all your candles and incense and weird and wonderful words and the Lord's Prayer being said backwards half a dozen times and all the rest of that stuff, which has got like a bit of power and excitement to it, people end up making the intellectual mistake that it is the ritual which has the power. Essentially, it isn't. It's a question. It's a part of it, but it certainly is only there as a tool to create the ambience whereby your mind can do weird, altered states of consciousness type stuff. For which things like mantra meditation, breath meditation, and the rest of that can also be used, as well as, of course, mind machines, which, for those of you who don't have migraine or epilepsy and aren't pregnant and don't have any other form of seizure complaints, are really good tools for self-training in these things. Everything else comes from, practice and all that kind of stuff. But he still didn't actually answer the question, why does my magic not work? Because he didn't go into that key aspect of work, and he didn't explain in an intellectually coherent manner what it is that creates the result, whatever he thinks the result is, as a result of you, candly, incensey, chanty-wanty, doing your weird stuff. Okay? So that's like a massive intellectual gap, which is missing from his reasoning within this one particular video, admittedly. He's got 35 videos out there. He may not even be on YouTube anymore. I don't know. But, because I've only seen his video coming up as a result of the, suggestions, because somebody else saw one of his videos and stuff, you know what I mean? So I've now subscribed to it to see if he does put out any more videos. But what is it that you're trying to achieve, and is that result actually achievable, and by what intellectual, experiential and experimental evidence, as well as research evidence, do you base this upon, and why do you think that that particular result is going to occur as a result of you doing your own form of heebie-jeebie, candly, incensey, weirdy, chanty, wanty, whatever the heck it's, whatever the heck you're doing. How do you join those dots? And why do you join those dots? And have you just spent too much time watching people who are sitting there on their backsides on YouTube saying, no, magic worked, I did my ritual, and hey presto, I won £10 on the national lottery, or whatever, I mean, it's like the whole sort of power of prayer thing, someone else is on another channel somewhere says that I gave my life over to God, and therefore, I managed to keep my life in perfect budget, and my shopping didn't go over my limits, and all the rest of that kind of stuff. But that doesn't really explain, if their model of, the theological, spiritual, or magical world is correct, why there's people starving in Africa, or there's people being born with AIDS, or you know, it doesn't logically follow on. Basically, that would just sum up a middle class tit who just happened to be quite lucky, realistically speaking. It wasn't necessarily a question as God has favored them, therefore they will end up becoming someone who's going to become an upper middle class tit and spend a lot of time on the speaking circuit. It's because, they're just very good at ending up on the speaking circuit and ending up doing tons of books, something which I personally would love to aspire to, okay? But on the other hand, I want people to think on the way, and I don't want to push people off balance. I think this video by the emanation video is good because it basically says, start with basics. Do your meditation. Do your visualization practice. Build it up. See what you can do and achieve on that side of things. But there's still this promise of a particular result which might not necessarily be there. Therefore, that's why I personally take the exploratory attitude. You're doing this to explore, to investigate, to find out, to experience and to generate the strange experiences, the meaning of which we can't fully, explain or understand, because in reality, we can't. Alright, and if anyone says that they can, then basically they're, they don't quite know what they're talking about. The strange experiences are real. Okay? Of certain types. Okay, there's some things which some people claim to have experienced, which I have not. And which I, in accordance with my experiences, don't think could actually happen. But there are some which can happen, and which do happen, and are comparatively doable. And that's why I talk about them. And maybe the end result for a lot of people is to just be in a position of asking more questions. Keep cool, stay sane, have fun.